You see this piece of wood? This is supposed to be square. It is not square. And normally this is where you'd reach for a table saw, miter saw, track saw, or some other machine I don't currently have. So today I'm going to find out whether I can cut a genuinely square piece of wood using nothing more than my Japanese Ryoba saw, a square and a little bit of patience. Welcome back to the Surely I Can Lab, the workshop where not having the right tool has never stopped me from attempting something anyway. The challenge today sounds simple. I want to take this rough piece of timber and turn it into a smaller board with straight edges, square corners, and reasonably accurate dimensions. No table saw, no miter saw, no circular saw, just this Japanese Ryoba saw, which is actually German because it's from Wolfcraft. A Ryoba saw has two different cutting edges. One side is designed for ripping along the grain and the other is designed for cross-cutting across the grain. In theory, that means one handsaw should be able to handle the entire job. Today, however, we're using plywood or shutter ply, and since there isn't any real grain to consider, we will be using the cross-cut side of the saw to ensure minimum chipping and splitting of this piece of plywood. But being able to cut the wood and being able to cut it square are two very different things. To make this a fair test, I'm going to keep the process simple. First, I'll establish one straight reference edge, then I'll use the edge to mark the width of the board. After that, I'll mark the final length and use the cross-cutting side to cut it down. At the end, I'll check whether the edges are straight, whether the corners are 90 degrees, and whether the opposite sides are actually the same length. I'm not expecting machine level perfection, but I do want something square enough to use in a real project. The process depends on having one trustworthy reference edge. If this first edge is crooked, every measurement taken from it will also be crooked. I'm using the straightest face of the timber as my reference and marking a new edge just inside the rough section. One thing I've learned with hand sawing is that a single line across the top isn't enough. The saw can begin on the line and still drift badly underneath the board. So I'm carrying the line down on both faces. That gives me something to follow from the top and from the side. So on this cut, I'm using the cross-cutting side of the Ryoba as discussed, and the teeth on the side are shaped to slice cleanly across the wood fibers. Japanese saws cut on the pull stroke rather than the push stroke. That means that the blade can be much thinner, but it also means I need to let the saw do all the work. Forcing it will only make the blade wander. I'm starting with a few light strokes, using my thumb to guide the blade, but keeping it safely above the teeth. Once the groove is established, I can increase the length of the stroke. And instead of only watching the line on top, I'm regularly checking the line on the side as well. Yep, that feels fairly straight. But only the square can decide. Instead of trying to cut straight down from one position, I'm alternating my view and my techniques. A few strokes while watching the line on the front, then I lean over and check the other side. And here you can see the saw beginning to drift away from the line. My instinct is to twist the blade back towards the mark, but that's usually when things get even worse. So I'm backing up slightly, correcting the angle gradually, and continuing the cut. I'm changing techniques, cutting from the front and also cutting from the back because I can see the saw is starting to drift away from the line, and I'm trying to sort of recover by referencing the other side. So basically by starting from the back, and hopefully by the middle we will actually end up on the line. There are a few small high spots along the edge. Depending on the rules, I could call this a failed attempt, but even boards cut on machines sometimes need a cleanup. This is where the shooting board can come very handy. You can see the video of how I made the shooting board linked on the top right, but using the shooting board I can basically clean up this edge, and the remainder of the wood that wandered off the line, I can basically plane that all the way down towards the line with the shooting board. The Ryoba saw definitely made the process possible, but the saw itself wasn't the most important part. The biggest improvement came from marking the cut on more than one face, starting with very light strokes, cutting on the waist side of the line, checking both sides instead of staring at the top, and correcting small mistakes gradually rather than forcing the blade sideways. The cuts were easier towards the beginning, but as the cuts became longer and longer, the saw started to drift away. So, can you cut perfectly square without a table saw? Perfectly? Probably not on your first attempt. But can you make a straight, square, and genuinely useful piece of wood using only a Japanese Ryoba saw? I think the answer to this is yes. It takes longer, it requires more concentration, and your first few cuts will probably expose every weakness in your technique. But there's something satisfying about producing an accurate piece without switching on a machine. And more importantly, not owning a table saw doesn't have to stop you from starting to woodwork. This was attempt number 1. This is where I ended up. Not perfect, but definitely progress. This is the Surely I Can Lab. I'll see you on the next one.